Welcome everyone. According to my computer, it's 2 o'clock, so I want to get started right on time. Thank you all for being here. My name is Sue Kissinger, and I'm the Assistant Director for Career Services at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. So I'm so glad you're here today. I want to thank you all for attending this UW system-wide virtual career trek. Today we're featuring the Greenheck group, and it is hosted by UW-Stevens Point. I want to thank everybody for coming. I also especially want to thank my career team. Brianna Burke and Shelly Auer are here on the call with us, and any of the other UW System Career Trek team that is on here today too. I especially want to thank my partner in crime, Haley Carr. I couldn't do this without Haley. She keeps me going every week and through all these meetings, and we'll be handling all the technology. Haley, you're the best. Thank you so much. Haley has already posted the official registration form in the chat form, so please, all the students in attendance today, if you would just take a second and fill that out, that would be greatly appreciated. Especially those UWSP students that are here that need pro events credit. You got to fill this out if you want the credit for attending today. And we'll post this several times during the trek, and I'll remind you, but please, 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 it's important for us to kind of know who's here today, who's attending. So those students that are in attendance, take a second and fill that out, please. This UW System Career Trek started with River Falls had been hosting an in-person trek for a long time. And when we couldn't do that anymore, the UW System career directors got together and said, let's do something that we can help our students across the state be able to experience and connect with employers, even if they can't do it in person. And the career services directors in the UW system, we get along really well and we help each other and we collaborate. And that's really cool, especially during COVID, because we are here to serve students and help them succeed, no matter what university you go to in the system. So we pulled together this career trek, and there's 13 employers that you'll be able to experience this semester, and we've already got 13 planned for next semester. So stay tuned, we'll get that list out really soon. And the interim president of the UW system, Tommy Thompson, he's even supported this and done press releases, and this is a big thing. So we're really glad you're here today, and we're really glad our friends from Greenheck are here to tell us about opportunities with their organization. Next week, just be planning, next week, UW Eau Claire will be hosting the trek on the 14th of October at 2 p.m. and Menards will be the employer that'll be here. So come and learn about the career opportunities with Menards, which is based out of Eau Claire. So let me see, I think that's what we got for you today. I think it's time to turn it over to our friends at Greenheck so we can all learn more about career opportunities with this wonderful company. So take it away, folks. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for that introduction, Sue. We are so excited to be here today. Okay, so I just want to cover the agenda. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and my journey from going from a full-time student into a full-time worker now, because I was in your shoes just about 2 years ago. Next, we'll move into talking about who is Greenheck, what exactly is it that we do, our values, the different career options we have, how to apply to those jobs, and then move into a Q&A with our panel, which Sue will facilitate. I believe just during the presentation, just drop whatever questions you have in the chat, and we'll address those after I'm done. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Bettendorf, Iowa. I attended UW-Platteville and graduated in December 2018. My major was industrial engineering, had a minor in business administration. My position at Greenheck is a part of the LEAD program, which is a leadership development rotational program. I have on here that I'm a part-time recruiter. I'm really not. I just always find myself in some of these presentations, going to different schools. I'm very passionate about outreach, not only about Greenheck, but also women in manufacturing and STEM careers. So I always find myself in these presentations, and I love doing them. So talking with some of our recruiting team, we thought it might be a good idea to just touch on, again, my experience from being a student into transitioning to full-time, and what are the type of questions that I would ask if I was in your shoes. So the first one is, how did I set myself apart? So I have a couple different pieces of advice for you. So the first one is to make sure that you have extracurriculars. So whether that be, doing research projects or studying abroad, being on sports teams, different clubs, academic clubs, whatever you can do to show that you have outside interests besides just going to class. Going to class is kind of the bare minimum, right? So show that you have ambition to do something else and you have other interests. Another leg up even on that is becoming a leader in any of those clubs. So if you're in an academic club, maybe be the president of whatever that club might be. That'll really give a leg up in a leadership position as well. Second is getting work experience, which seems pretty obvious, right? So getting an internship, me personally, I had 3 before I graduated. Maybe getting a co-op, those are great too. And I did want to say that I think today it's a little bit different, obviously, than when I was in school 2 years ago. So some of you might be really struggling to find internships and co-ops, right? Some companies might not have their programs online yet due to COVID. So if you're doing all the right things, you're reaching out to your network, you're applying to a bunch of positions and you still can't find anything, having related experience is the way to go. So what I mean by related experience is if you want to be a manufacturing engineer when you graduate, and you can't find an intern or a co-op related to that, maybe work in a production position, be a summer help and work on an assembly line. So getting that production floor experience is going to help you, because when you're a manufacturing engineer and you're designing these production lines, you can point back to, hey, I was actually working on an assembly line the last summer. So that really bodes well to your future career. If you can't even find that, I'd recommend setting up job shadows. So most companies would be happy to set up a job shadow. If not in person, there's plenty of opportunities for virtual job shadows, and to shadow a lot of different people within a certain company, learn about their culture and their specific position. Third thing is to work on your soft skills. So communication is a really big piece of this, especially in today's world, right? We're all virtual. It's hard. It's new. So being able to collaborate and being able to communicate with each other is really important. So make sure that you're working on your soft skills. A little piece of that too is authenticity. So understand what specific skills you have, what strengths you have, and the experiences that you've come from, your work experience or the extracurriculars or any of these other things. Understand what your personal brand is that makes you unique, and make sure you show that off in job interviews. That when you're interviewing, it's going to come across if you're authentic or maybe being inauthentic. So make sure that you understand yourself, your strengths, and show that off when you get the opportunity to. Second question, why did I choose Greenheck? How do I choose any company? So there are certain criteria that you need to consider when you are looking into a full-time job. So criteria could be location, salary, let's see, like the specific job title. So you have to understand those criteria and then rank them what's most important to you. So for me, what was most important to me was the job title. So I really was interested in doing a rotational program. I had gotten a couple of job offers, just entry-level engineering positions, and I kept turning them down. And I asked myself, why do I keep doing this? I had to reflect on myself of what I really wanted, and looking at my previous 3 internships, they were all in different functional areas. So I said, hey, I want to keep rotating. I want to keep exploring these different areas of business. So I was really looking for a rotational program. So that's kind of what I started applying to from that point. Next thing is company culture. I'm sure that you heard this talked about a lot, is understand what a company culture is. When you're in interviews, make sure you ask the recruiter or whoever you're interviewing with what the culture is like. That's really important that they find a fit in you and you find a fit in them, that your values align. For me, the biggest piece of Greenheck that I really liked was the teamwork. We all support each other. We all work really well together. We like to work hard but also play hard. So our values and culture really aligned. Third is location. I'm from Iowa and I want to stay in the Midwest. Fourth was development opportunities. We have a ton of opportunities to continue learning at Greenheck. Before I even started, I got the opportunity to go to a women's leadership conference. So like I said, in one of my interviews, I explained that one of my passions is women's outreach, women in leadership and manufacturing. And so they heard that during my job interview process. And before I even started, they were like, hey, do you want to go to this women's leadership conference for us and represent Greenheck? And I just thought that was really great. They listened to my passions and they gave me the opportunity to develop myself. If you have any other questions regarding that, my journey or other panelists' journey, I'm sure we have plenty of time to cover that at the end in our Q&A session. I just kind of wanted to touch on it just right now.
Apologies, that has not happened before. So we got Zoom bombed. I apologize.
So I guess I'll just start off here. So So like I said, our products are kind of not glamorous. They're kind of on top of roofs. They're in ductwork in buildings, and different buildings that they're on is commercial facilities, different schools, restaurants, hospitals, office buildings, and light manufacturing. So as you can see in some of these pictures, these are part of our gravity ventilator products, which I'll touch on a little bit later, but it's one of the first original products that we have. We also have some larger makeup air units on the roofs, which obviously we also make. So just a couple of different examples of applications our products have. So we were founded in 1947 by two brothers, Bob and Bernie Greenheck. They came back from World War II and decided to start a sheet metal business. Some of their first products were furnace fittings, gravity ventilators, and rotary turbines. So like I showed on the last slide, this was the first gravity ventilator. Our designs changed just a little bit over the years that we've been around, but the base purpose of the product is still the same today. So we started out with one facility in Schofield, Wisconsin, which is where our headquarters are still at today. It was 3,000 square foot with 3 employees. And what's cool about this picture is this original brick wall is still in our facility 1 today. So obviously that building has gone through a lot of renovations, but that one wall still stands. It shows that, you know, we're rooted in tradition and we're proud of where we came from. So today we have over 4,000 employees. We've got about 2.5 million square foot of manufacturing, $800 million in annual sales, and we have 45% market share in the US for fans. So like I said, our headquarters are in Schofield, Wisconsin. We've got 18 buildings there. However, we have locations all over the world. So we have a campus in Minnesota. We've got a couple in Tennessee, Kentucky. We've got our newest campus in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is the picture on the right there. We have plans for 6 buildings to go up there. We have 3 currently, so we are a growing business. We also have locations in California, North Carolina, and international presence in Mexico and India. And overall, we have 26 manufacturing plants, but again, that is growing. So these are some of the values we share. So when we talk about culture, make sure that you're reading these values, because this is really what the culture is rooted in, and make sure that what is on this slide for your company that you could potentially work for aligns with you personally. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of these. So one is making a difference in the community. Greenheck is an organization that's very rooted in the community. We have a ton of people, employees, that are on boards for the certain community organizations. So they bring a lot of their ideas and events into Greenheck, and it's very rooted in everything that we do. And then number 6, continuous improvement through learning, innovation, and teamwork. I mean, my conference example was just one, but we also have LinkedIn Learning, which you can go on any time and look at any course that you want in our library and take that. We have our own continuous improvement team in the company, and they teach in-person classes on different lean tools. So design for manufacturability, value stream mapping, etc. So there's always opportunity to continue growing at Greenheck. So one of the really cool things about Greenheck is that we have a clinic on our campus. So it has a medical staff, we have a pharmacy, a personal gym with fitness classes. So that's something that really sets us apart from other companies. We also have a special events committee. So an example of one thing that they've planned was a skydiving trip. So they said, hey, we're gonna pay for the first 20 people who sign up to go skydiving. And a bunch of people went on a Saturday. So it's just a really cool opportunity. Shows that we like to work hard and also play hard too, right? And then lastly, employee resource groups. So this is new to Greenheck. Of what I'm aware of, I think we only have one so far. It's the Greenheck Group Women's Network. So I'm a part of that, and it's basically just to support and help develop women in the organization and form, you know, partnerships and friendships and things like that. But more to come on those employee resource groups. So we have won a couple awards. So we've won the Wisconsin Manufacturer of the Year, a couple times. We have won the Bubbler Awards. We're the only person to ever win that award 4 times. And what that is it's saying that we're the best place for young professionals to work in Wisconsin. So we're pretty proud of that. And then we also won Forbes 2019 America's Best Midsize Employers. This one was cool because this isn't something that we actually applied for. This is something that, it was a survey that was sent out to a bunch of people, and they had to write in our name, and we ended up winning. So that was really cool and exciting. And to celebrate that, everybody in the whole company got free t-shirts. So it was a pretty cool, time and very exciting for Greenheck. So our co-op program, so this is a full-time position. It's 40 hours per week. The typical co-op runs from either January to August or May or June to December. You're assigned real-world projects that mean something, and certain roles that we usually recruit for is production supervisor, industrial manufacturing engineering, product development, test engineering, and application engineering. And that last one, application engineering, is pretty similar to sales engineering, so you can think of it that way. And test engineering is highlighted in red because we're actively recruiting for that one right now. So other perks of the co-op program is Fundamental Fridays, and I believe that occurs maybe like every 2 weeks to a month. And essentially those are lunch and learns. So there's a different topic for each one, and these are just a few examples of the topics. It's lunch with the CEO, meeting the presidents, 401k, and benefits, which seems like it might be really boring, but through all of our co-op classes, they've all said that was their favorite one. So that was pretty cool. Presentation skills and a lot more. Like I said, Greenheck is rooted in the community. It's part of our values, and so we'll make sure to get you involved in the community. We also do fun stuff with our co-ops, like we send you to a Woodchucks baseball game. We have a golf outing for you. So we make sure that you're involved in the community of Wausau, not just Greenheck. And then at the end of your co-op, you do an executive report out. This is really well attended. You know, we have general managers going, CEO goes, and it's just an opportunity for you to explain what you did and what impact you made on the business. So if you are graduating in either December or May, we have a couple entry-level engineering careers that we're actively recruiting for. So these are the potential careers that are listed. So you could be a product development engineer, manufacturing engineer, either plant or continuous improvement. GPS is our continuous improvement system, or our team here at Greenheck. You could be an application engineer, which again is sales, industrial engineer, and then we have the lead program, the gold program. So out of these jobs you see listed here, the only one that we're actively recruiting for today is the gold program. So going into what is the lead program. So this is the program that I'm in. It's a 2-year rotational program. There's 4 rotations that are 6 months each. And out of those 4 rotations, 1 needs to be regional. So since I am based out of the Schofield, Wisconsin campus, I would then go to the North Carolina campus or the Oklahoma campus for a 6-month rotation. You get to choose your rotations. General rule of thumb is to choose 3 that you're interested in, 1 that is a stretch. So it's not something that you're really comfortable with. You're doing it on purpose to try to grow in an area that you might be a little bit weaker in. You're assigned a mentor upon hire. It's usually someone in upper management, like a general manager. They're there to help you set up rotations, advocate on your behalf, and just talk to you, check in with you, see what you want to do after the program. The goal of this program is to gain broad experience across multiple business functions, and if you're a student who's aspiring to be in general management, this program might be for you. So the gold program. So this is not a rotational program. You are a production supervisor for 1.5 to 2 years. You will be on an off shift, either second or third, and I know that seems kind of like, maybe not, I want to be on first, but it's really good experience. You're basically in charge of the plant while you're there because, you know, you don't have the support of, you know, manufacturing engineers and material specialists. So obviously when you're training, you have that support, but it kind of gives you that experience of all these different roles in one. And you get shift incentives and bonuses as well, being on those off shifts. So you'll also drive employee engagement. You'll gain a great experience of the union. You'll lead continuous improvement activities, and you're also assigned a mentor upon hire, similar to the lead program. This person, however, is an upper operations management, so they'll either be a plant manager, I believe, or like a manufacturing director. And one of our panelists, Morgan, is in the gold program, so she can answer any direct questions related to this at the end. And they essentially do the same thing, advocate on your behalf, check in with you about your career options, and they're basically just there to support you. Goal of this is to understand shop floor experience and labor relations. And if you're a student who is interested in being in operations management, this program might be for you. So really quickly, just want to touch on how to apply. So go to careers.greenheck.com, click on job opportunities and college programs, and then we have the list of available positions. They are changing. Like I said, we only have a couple openings today, but we are working through getting some more job positions approved. So a tip I wanted to share was to create an alert on our careers website. So if you maybe don't see the position that you want on there, feel free to set up an alert. If anything gets changed, you get a notification to your email, and then you can come back to our site and apply for that position. So before we get into questions, I want to introduce our panelists. So I was the presenter. My name is Tori Wood in the lead program. And Tyler, why don't you kick us off and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Tyler Hootenrau. I went to UW-Stout for engineering technology with a concentration in mechanical design. So I started with Greenheck last May into the lead program. So I grew up in Wisconsin, came here, moved to Wausau. Kind of a really good fit for me, for the community in general, what the Wausau has to offer, but then ultimately Greenheck in general. So I'm in my third rotation right now in the lead program. Gone through some rotations in engineering, our continuous improvement team, and now I'm currently on my out-of-state rotation in North Carolina as a production supervisor.
Hello, my name is Morgan Workes. I am in the Gold program. I've been with Greenheck for a little bit over 2 years now. I will actually, hopefully, be transitioning into my new role after the Gold program within the month. But I went to University of Wisconsin-Platteville for industrial technology management with an emphasis in manufacturing. And I did an internship and a co-op, and they were around additive manufacturing, 3D printing, plastics processing, things like that. I looked at Greenheck as a company with a great culture, and I really loved the area. Coming from Platteville, it's a small town, and Wausau has a small town mentality and the friendliness and community, but also the amenities of a larger town or city. So I really was drawn there, and I love it here. And I'm a production supervisor in the Gold program on second shift in our Louver division.
Hello, I'm Allison Shepard. I'm the senior corporate recruiter here, and I went to actually UW Stevens Point and majored in communication. So at that, Sue, we can have the students ask questions, and we'd be happy to answer them. Sue, we can't hear you.
There we go. I missed the click. So thank you so much for presenting. Tori, you are awesome. And I want to publicly thank you for keeping going through the Zoom bomb we had and everything. That was crazy, and I apologize, but thank you, Haley, for cleaning all that up. And you were awesome. You just kept going, and your message was so spot on. I appreciate that. So students on the panel here, please type in some questions you have, whether it be about the Gold program or any of the other opportunities. I know we have some business students and marketing students online, communication students. Why don't you ask some questions too about opportunities for you? So that would be great, and I'll get those questions answered. I do want to remind students to please complete the survey, the official registration form that is on the chat feed, so that we can know who is attending today. That's really important. It's just a couple quick things that you plug in with your email address. Haley just reposted it again, so you don't have to dig for it. Please make sure you do that. So the first question that's in the chat is, for someone looking to work in the health and wellness field, do you directly hire applicants, or do you outsource for those positions?
So for that health and wellness, so we do have our own Quad Med. It's a clinic for our employees to use, so it's a really nice perk that we have. I believe that is hired, they do all the hiring themselves for actually the Quad Med Health Wellness. We have our fitness center, and those are actually Greenheck employees. don't know if we get too many openings very frequently, but we do have our own fitness center available for all our employees as well.
Okay. Dalton just asked a question that says, does Greenheck focus mostly on engineering related jobs, or are there opportunities for other career fields? So Allison, if you could talk about some of those other jobs that you do hire for.
Exactly. So we do have about 70% are engineers. So we have a huge focus on various types of engineering, but we also have a huge need for all the other areas as well. So IT, HR, sales, we have a big sales and marketing area that we're hiring engineers and non-engineers for. So there's a wide spectrum. That's why we definitely encourage everyone to go to our career site and sign up for the alerts. So when positions are posted, you can kind of say, oh, this is something I like, or this is not maybe my thing. So every time I post a position, you would get alerted of it.
Okay, so someone just asked about data science. So are positions for that at Greenheck?
Which data science?
Can you elaborate a little bit on data science? Joel,
I don't
Joel?
believe we do. I'm not familiar with that. I'm sorry.
You look, Joel, are you referring to like data analytics?
Oh, IT or?
Yes, so more data analytics, like looking at data specifically, not so much the IT.
We do hire system analysts. We do have a whole IT division that has to support all our software. We're always upgrading, doing new software. So yeah, we definitely are always having different openings in IT available.
Awesome. So perfect. And I look up there for another question was on software for computer science, IT, software engineering related fields. So lots of positions there. So make sure you get those alerts set up. That'd be really
I have an opening right now. So
awesome. I have a question for Morgan. How many gold program positions does Greenheck have, and do they work in different sectors of manufacturing?
So right now there are 8 of us. I was actually the first hire for it, so that's kind of cool. A couple of us are a little bit of guinea pigs right now, but we've been doing very, very well. And I know that there are 2 more positions open, one for January and one for May, so that would go up to 10. And they are all in completely different sectors. I don't think any one of us has double dipped really, and what's really awesome about the Gold program is each business unit has different needs. So each one of us has had very different experiences. So for example, I'm doing like a cost reduction project. One of the other ones is doing industrial engineering and leading his plant safety team kind of on the side. One of them transitioned into scheduling, and she had a slightly different rotation. She was in our Twin Cities area, and we have a couple other ones who are doing really cool projects. So it's very individualized. So I know it's not a rotational program, but as a production supervisor, you're doing, especially on the off shifts, like Tori mentioned, you're doing like 6 different jobs in one. You're doing materials, you're doing logistics, you're making engineering calls, quality calls. There's a lot of different things that you're kind of looking at throughout the night. Obviously, there's a lot of HR involved with it because HR is not there at the moment. So depending on the situation, you have to kind of do some of those things as well. So like I said, each experience has been completely different, and every single one of us has really enjoyed it so far.
Tyler, can you talk a little bit about the work that you're doing, please?
Yeah, I can talk about that. So right now I'm in North Carolina. I moved down there at the beginning of June, and we're starting a new manufacturing plant in North Carolina. We've built a couple plants in the past couple years, but I work for the same business unit that Morgan works for here in Wisconsin, but we're creating basically a sister facility in North Carolina. So I moved down there to kind of help start up the plant, hire new production employees, do a lot of the training, kind of looking for that quality, and then ultimately kind of acting as a supervisor during my time there.
Wow, so a lot of varied experiences there. Question, can you talk more about the test engineering co-op?
Definitely. So I don't know the engineering aspect of it. Would Tori or Tyler, you know more of what they do in that type of role? But the co-op itself will go from January through August, depending on the school schedule. And you'll actually get to have hands-on experience. We believe in really using our co-ops to truly have a real life work experience. So many co-ops have come back to me and said, oh my goodness, I was definitely put into a stretch zone and I was challenged. I was really made to think. So you're going to walk away with so much work, real life experience that you're going to take with you throughout your whole career. And we love that. We love putting our students in that and making them think, making them challenged, because that's only going to help you in life and only going to help you when you land your first full-time career. But as far as the in and out of the test engineer, I'm going to let one of our engineers talk about that.
Morgan, I know Facility 5 has had a couple test engineer co-ops. I know like broadly what they do, but if you know specifics, why don't you talk to it?
Yeah, sure. I don't, again, know the super specifics, but we do have a test lab here in my facility. So I've worked with some of the test engineering co-ops before. And basically any projects that your business unit is currently doing where we need to retest the product or recertify the product. If we changed it enough, we need certain air certifications for it. But we do anything from setting product on fire, shooting 2x4s out of a cannon at product. So some really cool stuff actually. But basically you are building a structure for the product to fit into, and Greenheck makes a lot of different products, so it really depends which business unit you're doing the testing for. I think we have a DOAS and a dampers openings, but it really depends. But basically you're building a structure, you're putting that product on the structure, and then you're doing what kind of air testing or hurricane testing. Again, if the building's on fire, how is that gonna hold up kind of testing. So anything that goes into that we can record. So from what I can tell, it's pretty project-based and open-ended, and they're really looking for more creative people who are also data-driven in order to be successful in that role.
And I think too, Morgan, just to add on to that, it's very hands-on. So if you're someone who likes to tinker with things and you're good with tools and mechanics, that would be a good position for you.
Yes.
Awesome. I have a question about when you're in something like one of the rotation programs, the gold program or whatever, what's the likelihood of getting a full-time position?
Very likely.
I think, and Allison, correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone who's gone through one of those programs gets a full-time position at Greenheck.
So we don't guarantee it. It's all based on your performance, of course. That's the HR speaking. So you have to obviously work hard and put into it. But the goal is, because we're putting 2 years of training into people, the goal is to definitely have them be part of our organization long term.
That's what I thought, but I wanted the students to hear that too.
Nope.
Okay, I did post the job posting site for Greenheck one more time in the chat. I do have another question from Dakota. What opportunities do you offer as far as supply chain management and other management positions?
Definitely. So we do have a whole supply chain area, and we did have several co-ops even this last round working in supply chain. So there is always opportunities in that area as well. So if that's what you're pursuing in school, look for those co-op opportunities. Hopefully we'll have some in the near future.
Mm-hmm. So other roles this would be like procurement specialists, material specialists in the plant. We have commodity managers that focus on certain material that they're buying. And then, like Allison mentioned, we have our own like distribution logistics department, so you could also work there. So and also in supply chain, I'm not sure exactly what the student wants to do, but like some supply chain students move into scheduling. We also have those opportunities as well.
Awesome. Last chance for questions, anybody? Does anybody have one more question before we sign off here? Well, I'd like to take the opportunity once more to thank our Greenheck panel. You guys are wonderful. I learned a lot today, and I'm sure everyone did. Please don't forget, everybody, next week Menards is going to be presenting through the UW System Career Treks, hosted by UW Eau Claire. And please keep watching. We've got a whole lineup for this semester, and we get next semester ready to promote too. So thanks again to our Greenheck partners. We look forward to working with you in the future. And everybody, be well. Take care of yourselves and get outside on this beautiful fall day. Take care. Bye-bye now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.